No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of AEW's Fright Night Dynamite on the eve of Halloween, October 30th, 2024. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. Now, let's get right into this Dynamite recap. A big show this week. We kicked off with a special Halloween intro for the show, and then we had the Death Riders, Jon Moxley's faction, a video package of them, but it was quickly interrupted by Orange Cassidy, dressed in black. Black is the new orange. Orange had the video package stopped. He said he's not the type of a guy to be a leader, but after watching his best friend get his neck crushed by a steel chair, things have changed. He's been surrounded by the future of AEW, and he knows now what he has to do. He said that Jon Moxley doesn't need AEW, but Orange Cassidy does. Orange Cassidy said he needs to cut the head off of the snake, and he will do it alone. He's going to do it to protect everybody and protect AEW. And he officially challenged Jon Moxley for an AEW title match. And it was confirmed. At Full Gear, Orange Cassidy will lose to Jon Moxley in an AEW title match. Well, my guess is he will lose, but he will probably be the first of many victims to Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion. It was a solid promo from Orange Cassidy. Now the question is, can you take the guy seriously after all the years of him with his hands in his pockets and doing those kicks? Do you really see him as a credible threat to Jon Moxley? Although Orange Cassidy has been known to kick out of a lot of things. He's resilient, as some people might say. But that's coming up at Full Gear. More on the Death Riders in just a little bit. We had Mercedes Moné backstage with Camille, cutting a promo to hype up Camille's match with Kris Statlander. Then we had our first match of the evening, which was Adam Cole, baby, versus Buddy Matthews, Mr. Rhea Ripley. Now, it was an evenly matched contest in the early moments, but then Adam Cole got sent to the outside of the ring and he started selling his ankle, like he re-injured it. Buddy Matthews, of course, took advantage of this. Cole was attempting to hit the Panama Sunrise, could not do it, and Matthews targeted the ankle. Cole ended up on the outside of the ring, and he was hurting. The doctor came out there checking on him. Cole did not want the match stopped, but finally agreed to be helped to the back. He was going to forfeit, but then Matthews got on the microphone and said that the new Adam Cole is a little bitch. So Adam Cole, of course, could not be called a bitch on national television. He got back into the ring. He hobbled into the ring, and the fight continued. Now, Buddy Matthews, who is quite the massive man, did everything he could to try and put away Adam Cole, but Cole kicked out of a stomp, and then Adam Cole got fired up. He had a running knee. Matthews kicked out of that. Matthews delivered another stomp. Cole kicked out at one. Resilient. As Mark Briscoe might say, the word of the day is resilient. They may be tiny, but Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, they can kick out of a lot of things. And Adam Cole, with pure heart, managed to survive. He finally busted out the Panama Sunrise. He hit a second one on the floor, and then back in the ring. Adam Cole hit the boom shot and got the 1-2-3 victory. I do like the angle they did to tease that Adam Cole might not win. I think we all knew going in Buddy Matthews was not beating Adam Cole, but I think they did do a solid job of making us think, well, wait a minute, maybe Cole's not winning. And they were going to perhaps do an angle where he couldn't finish the match, but he did. Super Adam Cole prevailed, picks up a big win here. And afterwards, he said that he appreciated Matthews. Matthews reminded him who the real Adam Cole is, offered a handshake, which Matthews accepted. They shook hands, and then the lights went out. They came back on, and instead of Buddy Matthews shaking Adam Cole's hand, it was Malachi Black. And the crowd chanted, "Holy shit." And it was confirmed next week, Adam Cole will face Malachi Black. Feels like an NXT black and gold throwback. That's coming up on next week's show. We had Christopher Daniels backstage talking to Private Party. Private Party going for the tag team titles against the Young Bucks, but if they lose, they have to break up. And Christopher Daniels brought up how him and Kazarian went after the tag titles, same stipulation, but they lost. And they were unable to stay together as a team, and Kazarian's not even with the company anymore. We then had Adam Cole backstage being checked on, and he had a message for Jon Moxley. He blames Moxley, or not Moxley, for Max. I'm blind. I have glasses on, and I wrote down Max because that's what Cole said, but I thought it was Mox because I'm blind and I'm on autopilot here. Max, MJF in the future. Brain, in the future, just type MJF. Don't type Max because you're blind and you might see it as Mox. Max, MJF. Cole blames MJF for pretending that they could ever be friends. And he also said that MJF has never given a damn about AEW. He's never been part of the team. And he will get his hands on MJF at Full Gear, one way or another. Thank you, Calvin, for wishing Caitlin a happy birthday. I will let her know you said that on the live stream. My wife's birthday is today. It's a busy week. Wedding anniversary yesterday, birthday today, Halloween tomorrow. It is definitely an eventful ending to October, and then we got this episode of Dynamite on top of it. We had Kyle Fletcher coming on the stage with Don Callis, and you got Kyle Fletcher, shaven head now. He called out Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay did not show up. However, Kyle's partner in the United Empire, Mark Davis, returned after being gone for a year or close to a year. Mark Davis returned. Kyle wanted a hug. Mark declined. He's not happy with Kyle's actions. Ospreay is at home laid up because of Kyle. Kyle tried to explain that Ospreay never cared about them, never cared about the United Empire. And Kyle said that Mark will always have a spot in the family. And Mark said that they had a United Empire, but Kyle destroyed it. And then he walked off, and Kyle warned Mark that pretty soon Mark will have to make a decision whose side he's on. So the plot thickens with that. Mark Davis is back, and we'll see where that goes. Mark Davis, former, I guess still tag team partner for now, maybe not, but seemingly a former tag team partner, unless it's a swerve and he does join up with Don Callis. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. What do you guys think? Should Mark Davis be part of Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher's group, or Should he be his own man? What do you guys think? We had a backstage promo from Hangman Adam Page hyping up his match with Jay White at Full Gear. He said there's no such thing as redemption for either of them, and he's going to leave White behind after Full Gear. We'll see if that happens or not. The Death Riders arrived to respond to Orange Cassidy. Moxley said one day people will understand what they're doing. He said he actually challenged Orange Cassidy first. They cut the dead weight out of Orange Cassidy's life by taking out his buddy Chuck Taylor, and they want to test OC. And at that point, they grabbed Wheeler Yuta and they put the steel chair around his neck like they were going to break his neck. Wheeler Yuta, their own guy. They were testing Orange Cassidy. Stupid babyface Orange Cassidy. He has a heart. I guess he has more heart than brains. He ran down there, and sure enough, it was a setup. They beat the crap out of him, including Yuta. But then Dark Order showed up, but they weren't enough. They're the B team. And then Darby Allin came down from the rafters, just like Sting. It's Sting. No, wait, it's Darby. Darby was brawling. He was having trouble taking off his harness, and the table broke when they were brawling on the outside. And then more people came down, the rest of the B team, and they were able to get rid of the Death Riders for now. Segment was okay. I'm still not really feeling it. I still think they need more. Don't really have that much investment in it. And Andrew says OC was in fact a stupid babyface for coming out to risk his neck for somebody who still attacked him. Well, yeah. And I don't know if this was Moxley's big surprise or not. I mean, maybe he was referring to later on in the show. To me, it was relatively forgetful. Orange Cassidy, Moxley, as mentioned in the chat room, it kind of feels like filler to me. So we had the Young Bucks coming down to the ring for their match with Private Party. And Private Party had the early momentum. Their career as a tag team was on the line. Matthew attempted to use the ring bell. Quinn grabbed it from him, but then accidentally hit Zay with the bell. So they were in trouble. Zay was busted open, sent into the steel steps. But then Zay got the hot tag after the break, and then we had the usual Young Bucks match breakdown. Private Party hit stereo 450 splashes. Bucks kicked out of that. Bucks regained the upper hand, and then they dragged Quen to the stage. Okada showed up. Bucks distracted the referee. Okada gave Quen a tombstone on the floor, and then the Bucks tried to finish off Zay. They hit the gin and juice, Private Party's move, but Zay was able to kick out. They did the super kick party. Zay kicked out of that. Zay was kicking out of everything. He avoided the BTE trigger, but then he got hit on a second attempt, kicked out again. Super Zay. He was kicking out of things he never kicked out of before in this match where their tag team career was on the line. And then the Bucks were on the verge of finally beating him, but Quen was able to return and make the save, and they regained the momentum. They hit the gin and juice on Nicholas. 1, 2, 3, won the tag team titles. After 5 years, Private Party have finally become the tag team champions. I figured they were probably winning this match just because they brought up such a big deal. They made such a big deal out of the idea that they would have to break up permanently, and Daniels even referenced him and Kazarian having to break up. And then after the match, Bucks, this is where I'm confused. So they're heels, and they hand over the tag team titles, showing respect to Private Party. Babyface turn? Like, what's going on here? I don't really get it, especially if Kenny Omega is coming back soon. The Bucks going babyface is strange to me. But then there's more to it, so stay tuned for that. Private Party had their big moment, and yes, this was Private Party full circle moment where they beat the Young Bucks like on the second episode of Dynamite, and never really got pushed after that. And now they're finally the tag team champions. It was a really good match. Happy for Private Party, and we'll see if this truly takes them to the next level or not. Now, after the match was over, there was a little confrontation backstage between Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter. Penelope Ford says everybody forgot about her, including Jamie, and a match was set up for next week. Then we had the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith, the Bad Apple. Jericho bragged about how his match with Mark Briscoe got 4 stars from Dave Meltzer. He's still mentioning Dave Meltzer for whatever reason. Guess he just can do what he wants. He talked about being a 9-time world champion, how he co-starred in Terrifier 3, how AEW has become a powerhouse organization because of him, and with all due respect to Jon Moxley, he said. Now, what would be interesting if Jon Moxley went after Jericho's group for him saying that, but that'll probably not happen. And Jericho said he's going to take the Ring of Honor World title to the biggest stage it has ever seen. Now, question. I could have sworn Jericho was already the Ring of Honor World Champion, and we had this storyline before. Like, isn't this just a repeat of what we already saw? He was already Ring of Honor World Champion, right? I mean, I don't even remember that well, to be honest. But I could have sworn he was the ROH champion, and we saw something very similar to this storyline. Regardless, I don't really care about it. He should really just take the ROH title and literally throw it in the trash and close Ring of Honor. Like, I'd pop. I'd actually get joy out of that. And any ROH fans that would be sad about it, I would love it. I think that would be great heat. If Jericho just threw the Ring of Honor World title in the trash, it said it's over, it's dead, we're moving to the future, forget about the past. Like, I would love that. I think that would be awesome. But no, they're going to do the boring Jericho's defending this so-called world title from a company that only survives in name only. I'm not a fan. I'm not feeling it at all. Backstage, Danny Garcia confronted the TNT champion Jack Perry, shoved him up against a wall, and got in his face. And then the Young Bucks were seen shredding documents. I'm not sure what that's about. Then we had Camille was shredding documents. Reminds me of Succession, so I don't know if it was supposed to be a reference to that. We had Kamille versus Kris Statlander. Yep, 9:30, the one women's match of the night. Fairly standard match here. Kamille dominated early, and then Statlander made her comeback eventually, was able to pick up the win with the Wednesday Night Fever. Then Mercedes hit Statlander from behind and then told Kamille to get to the back. Mercedes then said, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Kamille losing here. I'm not surprised. You know, they're obviously building Kris Statlander as Mercedes challenger. It's just sad to see Kamille losing. They were kind of making her out like the female Diesel, and, well, she is no longer the female Diesel. She's tall, but she's lost now. She's lost that bodyguard shine. Like, why does Mercedes need her? We don't know. Anyways, Mercedes celebrated with the title, and we'll get Kris Statlander versus Mercedes coming up at some point. And then backstage, we had Christian Cage offering the olive branch to Hook and wanted to meet him in the ring next week. I suspect there will not be a reconciliation or an olive branch or whatever. I expect there to be fireworks next week. We also had Mark Briscoe cutting a promo, and the conglomeration issued a challenge to the Learning Tree 6-man tag team match for next week's Dynamite. Then we saw the Young Bucks leaving. Christopher Daniels confronted them. They said things are too chaotic in AEW right now, and they're leaving. They're going to work for home for the time being. So they acted like baby faces by handing over the titles, and now they're being cowards and leaving. Are they returning as baby faces? Like, what are they doing? What happens when Kenny Omega returns? I guess Kenny Omega feuds with Don Callis and Takeshita and all those guys, but I don't know. Anyways, the Bucks are gone. Brandon Cutler, they ditched him. He had their box of shoes, but then the Death Riders showed up. Moxley knocked the box out of Cutler's hands, and then they grabbed Daniels, made Daniels watch as Claudio smashed Cutler's hand with the hammer. I don't even know if he got him with the hammer shot. Like, it didn't even look good. And Cutler was screaming, and then he kind of stopped screaming when he got hit. Like, it just, the execution of it was not good. It looked like amateur hour. But yeah, they apparently broke the hand of Cutler with the hammer. And yeah, I'm still not feeling this Moxley group. You know, they're trying to do something with it, but it's just not clicking for me right now. We had the main event. Something that has been clicking for me has been this storyline with Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Swerve Strickland. Swerve versus Benjamin, very competitive, good match back and forth between these two. Shelton had control early, and then Swerve started to make a comeback, did some of his moves. The house call kick came off the top of the 450. Shelton kicked out of that, and then Swerve was able to power bomb Shelton out of the corner, came off the top with the Swerve stomp, and got the 1-2-3 victory. I very much enjoyed the match. And then afterwards, MVP got on his phone and made a call. And then after a few moments, we had music playing, lights dimmed, and sure enough, the Almighty, although I don't think he will be known as that anymore since WWE owns that nickname, Bobby Lashley has officially arrived in AEW. Bobby Lashley comes to the ring. He has a face-off with Swerve Strickland, and then Shelton Benjamin provides a distraction. Swerve kicks Benjamin. Lashley takes the cheap shot. Benjamin comes back in. It's a 2-on-1 beatdown, and Prince Nana is restrained by MVP. Lashley puts on the Hurt Lock, leaves Swerve Strickland laying. The crowd was chanting, "Holy shit." And then MVP gets on the mic with the closing line of the night. Guess who's back in business? And the show goes off the air. I thought this was a great debut for Lashley. Now, how do you book Bobby Lashley in AEW? I fear that they're going to drop the ball with him. I hope they don't, but AEW is the land of the little people. You got Adam Cole, baby. You got Orange Cassidy. These guys kick out of everything. Bobby Lashley looks like a giant. Like, he's Omos in AEW. Shelton Benjamin is a bigger dude in AEW. And then you got Lashley in there. Lashley, I mean, yeah, he's almost 50, but He looks like he could kill almost the entire roster with his bare hands. But are they going to be doing matches with him and Orange Cassidy where Orange Cassidy is kicking out of everything? I don't know what they're going to do. So this is very interesting because so far I don't think they've missed with this group. I expected Shelton to lose to set up Lashley's appearance. I mean, to me, that was a clear direction, and Shelton will be fine losing that match. But Lashley, you know, are you going to strap the rocket to this guy, or is he going to come in and just start putting over other people? This is going to be very interesting to see where they go. Lashley is not, even though he's very good in the ring and is credible, people don't look at Lashley like your core AEW fan base. You know, they like the Dave Meltzer 5-star matches. And Lashley's not one of those guys. He's not really known as being a work rate guy. You know, he's more known for coming in and doing the power moves and you know, being a beast, you know, coming in there and just destroying people. He's not really known for his 5-star bangers. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. I mean, Lashley looks great. Shelton Benjamin looks great. MVP is awesome on the mic. Hurt Business 2.0, Hurt Syndicate. Will they be able to deliver? I mean, Triple H apparently turned down the idea of reuniting the group. Will Triple H have egg on his face? That remains to be seen. All in all, I thought it was a very good Dynamite. Not perfect. It kind of fell a little bit for me in the middle, but I thought the title change was well done. Main event segment was great. I give the show a solid B. I did like it. I thought it was a very solid Dynamite. Memorable show for several reasons. Strong debut for Lashley, but where do you go from here? And who else is possibly going to join the Hurt Syndicate in the future? Where does Powerhouse Hobbs fit in? Or maybe Ricochet? Like, what about these other guys? I enjoyed the show. I think it's still lacking some star power. Like, no MJF other than I think there was a brief shot of him during Adam Cole's segment. But there hasn't been much MJF on the show lately. Ospreay was not on the show. But yeah, I did enjoy it overall and did think it was a good show. And I am intrigued about the Lashley storyline. Not so much the Moxley one. That one I think still needs quite a bit of work. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the recap. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. And please spread the word. Next week, I will be recapping both shows, Dynamite and NXT. I'm going to be watching both at the same time. This will be the first time I'm doing this in a very long time. So make sure you guys tune in next Wednesday night for a double recap, a rare one night only Dynamite versus NXT reunion. That will be next Wednesday night right here on the No DQ YouTube channel. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. Have a great Halloween. Stay safe, everybody. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.